Coming up, we got another big-time coaching firing. Is Brent Venables starting to get on the hot seat? We'll discuss. Coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, coaching carousel season has started rather early in college football this year. James Franklin was fired. The UCLA job opened up. But more recently, Mike Gundy was fired. Sam Pittman was fired. Billy Napier was fired. Well, on Sunday, Brian Kelly was fired. The LSU job became available. First, your reaction to that?
I am shocked that they actually pulled the trigger.
That's crazy. That's buyout.
Yeah, $54 million. I saw a post on the socials that we are now at $167.9 million in buyouts this year.
And people are concerned about players getting paid.
These dudes getting paid not to work.
This is nuts. Okay. Yeah, it's just crazy. It always felt like an odd fit to me, Jay, because this is a guy that made his money, made his living, made his reputation built on success in the northern half of the United States. You know, from Cincinnati to Notre Dame, he was really, really good at a lot of places in the north. I don't know if he should have traveled south. It's a totally different vibe and totally different environment, totally different high school recruiting, focuses and relationships. You probably should have stuck with where you were.
Yeah. When I looked at this, John, I'm like, okay, who are they going to go after? Because the one thing you have to think about is they're giving them $54 million, and now they have to figure out another probably at minimum $50-something million for the next coach.
Yeah, and
then they've also going to have to pay the buyouts for the staff, which is probably an additional 10 to 12 million, and then got to come up with another 10 to 12 million to hire a new staff. I don't know how. I guess they're comfortable with doing this or whatnot, but who's going to? So somebody mentioned this to me. How terrifying would it be for Lane Kiffin to be at LSU instead of going to Florida?
I would not like it. I would not love that.
I mean, having literally access to all of that fertile recruiting ground right there, and he honestly fits the personality of it.
Oh my God.
He'd do really good down there in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They'd hate him at Ole Miss, though. Like, that would be like the worst.
Yeah.
He could possibly do to them.
So let's talk about this, man, because I've been seeing a lot of discussion on Brent Venables. And listen, there's going to be a lot of frustrated fans every time Oklahoma loses a game. And I get it. The way you lost this one, the way you lost Texas, frustrating, disappointing. You didn't play your best. I don't think this is the year to consider moving on from Brent Venables. I think, one, you still have a great shot at finishing this season 8-4 or better. You're not fully out of the college football playoff picture. You go get a win against Tennessee and you still have a lot in front of you. I think he's done a really nice job building this defense. We've talked about it on a number of occasions. They've done a really good job recruiting. It's just the way that the offense fell apart in 2024. We're still kind of dealing with the ramifications of that this year, because your incredibly deep wide receiver room that you had going into 2024 is pretty much gone, except for Deion Burks. Your offensive line is still being developed, and you're building the foundations of it. You're having to rebuild the foundation of it. We're seeing some good things out of it, but you're still having to rebuild the foundation of it. Your quarterback evaluations over the last couple quarterbacks have not hit like you've hoped that they were going to hit. And so you're kind of set back a little bit, but everything he's done on the defensive side of the ball is enough for me to still feel optimistic about the way that this thing could go. And Jay, I'm going to make this point as well. In a potential coaching carousel and a coaching hiring cycle in which Florida, LSU, Penn State, Arkansas, UCLA Oklahoma State. Am I missing anybody right now? Potentially Texas, if Steve Sarkisian does decide to go to the NFL.
If the rumors are true, yeah.
There's a lot of big time coaching jobs that if you've got a coach that went 7-5 or 8-4 in a season and you feel good about at least one half of the football, you probably don't want to be making a move this cycle.
Yeah, you really don't. You don't. You don't want to make a move at all. Like
I'm not ready for a reset at all. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not ready for a reset unless you can find yourself a coach that you can bring in that will bring in everybody with them.
Because if you move on from Brent Venables, you're losing Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis, you're losing Nate Dreiling, you're losing Wes Goodwin, you're probably losing Jay Valai, probably losing Brandon Hall.
Yeah, you're losing your entire defensive staff. They're going to leave.
They're gone.
And they're going to get other jobs. And they're going to get, and this, I hate to say it, BV's going to get a DC job in the SEC. Yep. And he's going to haunt us forever. Yep.
Watch him go be the DC for Jeff Levy or something and just go cook everybody with Mississippi State. I don't know.
That would be awful. And then he'd bring in like all of those dudes that left here to go with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would be
or what if he went and coached with Lane Kiffin? Mike, don't do this to us. But
no, we're just creating like a nightmare scenario for ourselves right now. We probably should stop doing it. We should probably stop talking about that like that. But no, on a serious note,
it into existence,
right? But we are at the point where we're not at the point where we need to go ahead and fire. 5 years is going to happen. You give Ben Arbuckle his first year. You give him some grace on year one. You wanted it to be instant. Unfortunately, it wasn't instant ramen. It was not a microwaved oatmeal. This is going to be some overnight oats. Yep. It's going to have to sit and soak for a season. And then next year, it should come back much better. Right now, we're at the mercy. Like, I mean, I've even seen some people say, why don't we just make Kevin Wilson the offensive coordinator? You know how many people would have lost their mind if we'd have made Kevin Wilson the offensive coordinator instead of hiring Ben Arbuckle? All of those people that said we should have done it would have lost their minds on that. So I think we're in a good spot. We've only lost 2 games. Both the teams are ranked.
One was
in the top 10.
Yep.
I could understand if we would have lost a game to a actual bad team.
Had you lost Texas to Auburn?
Right. Lost to Auburn, and I understand everybody being pissed off. But we gutted that one out. We gutted out the Michigan game. Michigan's ranked, so that still makes us look good. They keep coming in and out of the rankings, and they're probably going to finish in the top 25. So for us, the most critical thing is we need to go get an upset. And I think the upset needs to be Tennessee. We need to go to Neyland. We need to give them revenge from last year of what they did to us. Do it back to them. The offense right now is playing a lot more potent. They're getting like 500 and something yards per game. They're one of the tops in the SEC. So we can expect them to get at least 400 and something yards. We just need to make sure that we can punch back against them in the rest of these games. Yeah, they're 510. So they lead the conference in yards. And they've lost 2 games. And the 2 games that they've lost, they weren't very good at, running. They weren't very good at really scoring. I mean, there was a shootout with Georgia, and then Alabama shut them down for the most part after that pick 6, and it was a done deal. We need that. If we do that, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and so, listen, if you like what Oklahoma's done, for the most part on defense, listen, they gave up yards. They gave up some big plays against Ole Miss. But in that second half, man, the defense gave you a chance to win. They gave your offense multiple opportunities to go win the football game, and the offense couldn't capitalize. Think about Lane Kiffin giving Oklahoma the ball at the 15-yard line on a crazy 4th and short go for it opportunity.
One of those disrespectful go for it.
It really was. It really was. And the defense got the ball for you, and the offense went backwards and couldn't do anything with it. The defense gave you the ball back. Isaiah Satania fumbled the ball at the 50-yard line.
Stinky.
It was just one of those. In the second half, the defense put it right there on a silver platter for you, and you couldn't take advantage of it. So as bad as the defense might have been in the first half, they rebounded and responded. They were much better in the second half. Yeah, they gave up the go-ahead touchdown. Again, good Ole Miss offense, you're going to give up points. But when they made stops, when they created 3 and outs, you couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, you gave up 258 yards in the first half. Second half, you gave up 173. So you did locked third quarter. You only gave up 70 yards. Like we locked in third quarter.
Yep.
Fourth quarter was kind of just, but again, as the sun came out, you started to see, the kryptonite go away.
And the third down defense was much better in the second half than it was the first. It was just, again, you had opportunities and you couldn't take advantage. So the defense has shown the improvement that we've hoped to see. The offense has to catch up, and it's a crazy place to be, but the offense has to catch up to where the defense is at.
We need it.
All right, let's talk about where Oklahoma landed in the AP Top 25 and the USA Today coaches poll coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.